Okay, so I mean, this is very similar and in line with handout number 1. It basically runs through the process, but in terms of continuing to counsel them, it just basically means that you are keeping in touch, you're scheduling regular meetings, and any training that they may need, or also, as I said before, the counselling with a professional EAP if there's something personal going on that you become aware of. Okay, does anyone have any questions about that one?
Yep, so how often should you schedule the follow-up meetings?
Yes, okay, so as I said, it depends on how severe their underperformance is, but you might give them a couple of weeks in between each and give them either a month to 2 months to bring it up to scratch. Okay. Now, handout number 3 is to do with dispute resolution. Now, as you can see by the handout, there's a few different ways to handle a dispute. Basically, parties can negotiate an agreeable outcome, so that's your best case scenario. We always try and resolve a dispute at the lowest possible level. We don't want to just come in gung-ho and get arbitration happening straight away. So we sit down with the employee first, try and resolve it amicably. If not, you may need to get a third party. That may be calling in someone from HR to help, and then basically once the dispute arises, clarify the concerns with the staff member. So it's a good idea to clarify it in writing so that you say it back to them or write it back to them what their concern is, and then ask them what their solution might be. Now, you can refer to the dispute resolution clause in the award or the EBA or their employment contract, but our dispute resolution procedure ensures that there's a simple, quick, fair and confidential and transparent process for resolving disputes. Okay, so you can advise the employee of the dispute resolution procedure, and if it wasn't able to be resolved internally, then you may need a third party or arbitration. Okay. Basically our goal is to ensure that healthy working relationships are maintained even in the face of a dispute by providing the transparent process with escalation methods where available. Okay?
Yep.
Anyone got any questions on that one?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so just so we're clear, how should we try and resolve the issues?
At the lowest possible level in the first instance, I would imagine.
Yep, no, that's exactly right. We don't want to bring in the arbitrators straight up. So, okay. Now, number 4. Just looking at handout number 4, it is how to support employees who've been terminated as a result of performance management. Now, as you would imagine, this is a very sensitive area because when you're terminating someone because of underperformance, you need to ensure that you've met a number of steps before you go and terminate them, unless it's due to a significant breach that requires automatic termination, such as stealing and things like that. So once the termination of the staff member has been recommended by the line manager, you need to make sure that the staff member has gone through the performance management process. If yes, you can continue through this process. If no, refer it back to the performance management process. We need to give the staff member the opportunity to rectify their performance issues before we just go and terminate them. Okay, so then we can question, has the employee been provided with the support, counselling, training and previous warnings? And it's important to go back and look at their personnel file and make sure everything has been documented on that so that you've got a clear record. This is also, if it comes back to us like through Fair Work or something like that, we can then provide them with all the documentation to show that we've done it correctly. Okay, you review your relevant legislation to determine whether unfair dismissal laws apply, and you can come to HR and find out also. And as I was saying before about natural justice, you always have to give the employee the opportunity to respond to the allegations. Think about whether termination is harsh, unjust or unreasonable in the circumstances. If yes, then reconsider your dismissal and see if there's some other options that you've got available. If no, proceed with the termination. So the notice of termination is provided to the employee. That must include your reasons. Now, we've got templates for all of these forms. HR will then determine the leave and termination pay, and then the employee's employment is ended. So ensure that all system access and everything is barred so that they can't get into any systems, keys back, things like that, and document on the HR file. Does anyone have any questions?
So what if we aren't sure whether to terminate the employee or not? What if we're not sure if we've taken all the steps?
Okay, what I would recommend before anyone goes through any termination procedure is to contact HR and have a meeting with us. We can sit down and look at everything and make sure that we have got all our ducks in a row before we go down that path. Okay, we're always here to help. The fifth handout is to do with how to record, access and store outcomes from performance management sessions. Now, as you can see in the tips there, it says all actions relating to performance management should be recorded, accessible and stored securely. So if it's not in writing, it didn't happen. So don't leave personnel documents laying around either, because obviously that's a privacy breach. So basically, the performance management process that we've implemented is a collaborative approach to improving job performance and ensuring employees help define their performance and developmental needs, and management work with employees not only to make sure that they're doing their jobs but also to develop our staff further. Okay, so all processes should be recorded in the Human Resource Information System, which is managed by HR, but you need to, as line managers, provide us with all the information to put in there. Okay, so this is useful not only in managing their development, but also to determine the gains made by CBH as a result of the performance management process. So once a staff member has undertaken training, if they're being more productive, then that's obviously a gain for CBH as well as for the staff member. So personnel files need to be kept secure as per the performance management and review procedure, which states that once the supervisor has completed the review, it will be stored confidentially and managed by Human Resources. Document management system will be set so that only appropriate staff have access to these documents. Okay, all employees should be provided with a copy of their performance management agreement. Everyone should be signing it. This will allow them to monitor their own performance and raise any training that was documented in their performance agreement. Now, all feedback, both positive and negative, should be recorded to ensure an accurate reflection of the employee's performance is documented. Okay? So, as I said, who do we need to get to sign the performance management agreements?
That's the supervisor and the staff member.
That's correct. And then once it's gone to management, the HR team will also sign off on it. Now, our last handout that we've got today is about giving and receiving feedback. Now, this is tricky, especially when the feedback is negative. But regardless of whether it is positive or negative, employees can be sensitive. So it's important to ensure that the CBH policies and procedures are followed so that there's delivering feedback is not seen as bullying and harassment. It can be daunting, so the best things that I can suggest is to prepare for the feedback session. So don't just go in and think you'll wing it. Have your points written down so that you can discuss that with the staff member confidently. Be timely. As I said, we don't like to leave these conversations going on and on for a long period of time, so bring things up quickly. Have regular conversations with your staff members. Don't wait until there's an issue to raise, but go around, keep in touch with your staff members. If there's anything that you want to just have a general chat about, you can do that at the time. But be specific, make sure you have examples that you want to provide to the staff member. Don't just be a bit wishy-washy. I wouldn't like to raise any more than 2 issues at a time, because the staff member, 1, won't take it all in, and 2, it's better to go little by little. As I said, document your interactions. That's my main focus today, is that we all document everything, and then we do appropriate follow-ups with the staff member. Okay, now as I said, make sure again you allow the staff member the opportunity to respond to any concerns that you might raise. Okay, and don't forget that the HR team is here to support you. Now, does anyone have any other questions?
No, thank you.
No?
I'm pretty good.
All right, no worries. Well, thank you all for coming today, and please give me a call on the numbers provided on the handouts if you need any further information.
Thank you.
No worries. Bye-bye.
Bye.